I'm alive and it's good to be alive. Hello everyone, today I am checking out Banshee Prime. Now I personally don't even care much for the original Banshee, so keep in mind you may disagree with my review. That's totally fine, this is simply my opinion, but maybe that might be part of why you find this review so interesting, is simply because of the fact that I already don't like her, so you're gonna get a review from that perspective. Now, Banshee Prime does have a nice little armor increase from the original Banshee, and to be honest, I never played the original Banshee enough to really notice if it helps a whole lot. Obviously, I do think this Banshee probably has a little more survivability, and she is a nice frame, to be clear. She does an extremely high amount of damage, because essentially you can inflict enemies with these crit points, and as you can see, you deal an absolute monstrous amount of damage if you hit them. On top of that, I'm using an Opticore with a Riven mod right now, so it already totally destroys the Grineer, but she's actually not a bad frame. She deals a really large amount of damage. She's just a bit squishy for my taste, and also she's kind of tricky to build because I find that if I build her to be exceedingly good in one area, she seems to be lacking in the other. So typically, I build her for her sonar and also her other ability, which sort of deafens enemies and stuns them. What I find annoying about this, though, is while you can recast her sonar ability, which inflicts the critical points on enemies, allowing you to deal extra damage, and you'll see the glowy spots there, you can recast that ability, but you cannot recast her other power that deafens and stuns enemies, which is really annoying because it's kind of like, what's the point of having it be duration based? It's almost more useful to just spam it, to be 100% honest, because all it does is silence you, and I really haven't found it to be all that helpful. And also, if I build for those two abilities, her Soundquake, which I have here, seems to be somewhat less effective. I have tried to build both of these functions to be sort of like in between, so they're both decent. Either one of them are as good as they could be, and it's kind of my favorite way to play as Banshee, is to just be able to adapt to either situation, so I can both deal increased damage and also have some CC if I need it. She's a bit squishy for my taste. I don't feel like she has any survivability, and to be honest, there's nothing that's going to stop really high-level enemies from just totally one-shotting and killing you. Some people say, well, yes, she's so squishy because you can use her ult like this and stop everything on the whole map from moving. Yeah, but at later waves, it's going to stop dealing damage, and then once you run out of energy, you're just kind of screwed, no offense. Because I'm just very used to playing as, like, Saren is one of my favorite characters. She has regenerative molt. I'm also getting used to Chroma now, who has an insane amount of armor. But to be fair, I think that if you use the Vacor Merlock with Banshee rather than the Euphana, it's actually really fun because every time this gun procs, it heals you. So I also have Meta Ray on my Sentinel. If you have means of healing yourself, she's actually not that bad. And aesthetically, like visually speaking, she looks like amazing. She looks way cooler than I thought she would. Like, I don't even really care that much for Banshee, but she looks really cool, and I'm glad. It's definitely made her more fun to play as for me because, you know, fashion frame. But she's really cool. I think she deals a lot of damage. Again, I just don't like how squishy she is. But if you already like Banshee, then yeah, pick up Banshee Prime. She's freaking awesome. She's kind of a pain in the ass to farm right now because pretty much every single one of her pieces drops from a different relic. So you're going to need like Axie, Neo, Meso, and Lith. You need like one part from every single kind of relic. So it took me a long time to farm her. I didn't get her until just recently. Sorry it took me so long to make a video. Normally I would buy Warframe Prime Access, but given that I don't really like Banshee all that much, and I don't even use Helios, I wasn't about to spend $80 just to get the Euphana Prime. The Euphana Prime is really cool, but if it's the only thing that interests you in the pack, I would honestly just farm for the other two items. It's not really a big deal, especially if you have friends to help you. Every time I use Banshee, I either have to have one of two augment mods. I either have to have her Sonic Fracture or her Soundquake mod, and it honestly just, it makes it a world easier. So if you're going to build for Soundquake, use the augment mod so it does more damage and increases in range. And if you're going to use Sonic Boom, I highly recommend Sonic Fracture because it reduces the enemy's armor by a large percentage. So anyways, you guys, not a huge fan of Banshee, so I'm probably not the best person to ask on how to build her either, just because I don't enjoy her, but I wanted to give you guys my perspective on it as someone who doesn't like her. She's still cool. She looks tremendously cool. I wish she could receive some kind of buff. I'm not sure what, but to be fair, the Banshee fans honestly seem to love her. They seem to think that she's just fine. Whenever I try to bring up the fact that she's squishy, they're like, well, it's because she deals so much damage. My only issue with that is, I don't know, in my opinion, there are way better glass cannons in this game. Nova, for example, is absolutely fantastic. She not only makes enemies blow up when they die, but she also makes them move incredibly slow if you play as a strength build, which makes them really easy to outmaneuver and kill. I don't know, Banshee does deal a lot of damage, but my issue is, for how much damage she deals, it is an insane amount of damage. I feel like there's nothing in the game that demands dealing that much damage. Like, it's insane how much damage she can do, but there's honestly just no need for it, if you ask me. I mean, I could play as Saren, I could play as Ashe, I could play as, you know, all these other Warframes I have, and for whatever I'm gonna need to do in the game, be it sorties or whatever, I can deal plenty of damage with the tools I already have, and I'll be able to survive much easier. I hope this video was helpful, you guys. Again, I'm not the biggest Banshee fan, but if you have anything else you'd like to say, please drop a comment down below. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!